What's up, you guys? Hope you all had a cracking Saturday. Here we are for our two-game update this time with the Sharks and the Dogs and the Cowboys and the Raiders. And some two great wins for two meant to be very average sides. So well done to the Dogs in this one for getting their first win. In terms of the fantasy scoring, probably wasn't the best game. Obviously, you can see only a bunch of guys here above 50, but a few guys that people would have picked up this week or have been holding on and did well, and a couple didn't do so well. So we'll start off with Blake Brayley and a decent 61 this week with a try. Been a bit up and down in his scoring, unfortunately. You get the 60 odds and then the 30 or 40. So someone that don't think a lot of people should have at this stage. Teig Wilton still comes in and gets 60. So I said really outperforming what I thought he was going to be doing, on especially how many games he was going to get. He's made 136k. He'll be up about 180k gained after this week. So well done if you're playing him at the moment and have him in your squad. But 40 tackles, 160 meters gained, really good efforts from him, really good work ethic, and we'll go from there. Jesse Ramian, 57. So anyone who picked him up did pick up another 10 tackle breaks this week, which was crazy. So well done to owners of him, and it'll be interesting to see how long he can keep that up. 52 average in the centers at 484. He'll obviously be a lot over that after this week in the 500k range, but yeah, well done if you decide to pick him up in this week. Waddell Hopoate, Hopper's had a couple of decent games in a row now, and I suppose if the Bulldogs are going to start playing a little bit better, then his scores should go up as well. He's fairly cheap in your centre or wing fullback, has that dual position there, and he's someone that has average in the mid 30s to 40 range over his career in a centre position especially, and he's someone that has a bit of talent, and for him to get a 53 this week is cool, and he's someone that you just keep an eye on. He might be someone it could be an interesting pickup around the Origin period if you need someone to cover both positions and could score decently for you. But we don't want his price going up any further from there. Hiroti was 51. Well done to him. A lot of people shouldn't have him. Averillo is the one that's been crazy. He's got a 38 average now for the season after that start he had. Incredible. Just doing a bit of everything more now, like even just making more tackles. He's got a try assist in there, a few run meters, but just doing a bit of everything and not having too many negatives, which is great if you own him, and you can just keep playing him in the centers now, and he's going to be up over 100k made after this week, which is crazy to think about after his start of the season. So unfortunately for me, I moved him on after he had the ankle injury when he was out for the 1 week, and obviously Lockie Lewis got a head knock as well and couldn't play, so kind of all just the stars aligned to get him back in the squad, and he's done pretty well since. So there you go for him. All right, Lukey Thompson, we've had a few people talking about. I suggested that he could be a decent pickup, but he'd have to be scoring in the mid 50s for you to be really considering him, just for the fact that we're not sure if he's a keeper, right? With some of the other guys that are around that price point or just above that have been a keeper in the past, whereas Thompson's very new to the game. So with him, if he's going to be scoring a 47 at like his low mark, he obviously had a few demerits there, 10 in demerits. So if that's going to be his low mark and he's getting 63 minutes, you'd imagine that he's going to do pretty well and hopefully average around that mid 50s range. So I wouldn't be stressed about him if you picked him up this week. I think you take that, especially when we look at someone like Adam Elliott, but we'll get there. Corey Allen with a decent game, 2 try savers. 28 tackles in the centers there, so well done to him. No one would have him anymore. Rudolph Tony, Slava Tony doing well. Flanagan 41, so still a 53 average, which is pretty much where he's priced at. So you're happy with that with him, but not the 41 this week. Nakora, Napa, not a lot of plays in this game. I don't even think I had any. So Johnson and Townsend are probably the two we'll talk about there. So with Johnson coming back, Townsend still kicked the goals this game, which I don't know if that'll change going forward or not, which is, if it doesn't, then that's good for Townsend owners. But I think now might be the time to start thinking about moving him on. With Johnson there, this is Townsend's lowest game of the year, and you can see that the kick meters had been switched around. Obviously not many in this game, 115 and 186, which is really, really low for this team and what they're normally producing. But Townsend at 31, his try assists and stuff are going to drop down as well. So I'd suggest this is probably a really good week to move him on if you can. Like, I think you're really happy with his couple 100k price rises. His amazing average of 55, and then this is the week now. because we weren't exactly sure pre-round if he was going to if Johnson was going to play big minutes or anything, but then he ended up starting and Moylan was out. So that's the other one to think about with Moylan. I think he's now definitely a sell if you still have Moylan. I don't know where he's going to play because Kennedy's been playing really well. And yeah, even like Connor Tracy's come on the wing and the centers and done pretty well. So it's like, where does Moylan fit? So he's probably a one to move on at this stage. Kotrick with 29 again, so scored a try and still didn't go great, so he has to go from anyone scored, unfortunately. What else we got? Yeah, Kennedy with one of his lowest scores of the season with 27, but I wouldn't be stressing too much about that. The Sharks obviously didn't play very well. It was weird to see Elliott have such a low score in 80 minutes in a team that actually won. You would expect that he'd be someone that would benefit when their team does pretty well, and unfortunately that wasn't to be this game. He had 20 in demerits and only ran the ball like 3 or 4 times to get 36 meters, which was really strange for someone that is a real attacking weapon for them across the whole park, not just in a scoring situation. So for Elliott, really upsetting, and I know my brother's got him. He's probably going to rage trade him. What are you guys thinking of doing with him? Because that's a big anomaly. Like you're not expecting that. Maybe, I don't know if he had a bit of an issue and that's why he was missing so many tackles or didn't run the ball. I'm not sure what you guys saw in that game, but something to think about with him. And he's probably worth holding for a little bit longer. 672k though. If he gets a few more of those scores, he's going to be losing money like crazy. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that game was, guys, and we'll move on to the best game of the round. Cowboys and the Raiders. 3 in a row. Are we going to win the comp yet? I'm calling it. What do we say? Kempy would say, you're the ambush. 26-24 to the Cowboys after being down 24-6 was an amazing comeback and led by Val Holmes and drinking in Hampton, obviously, with Robson rounding out the spine, doing a really good job and scoring a try in there. So really happy with the output that these guys are doing in the moment. I just wanted to talk about Drinkwater for a second. I've been someone that's been fairly critical on him and his gameplay. A lot of people really like him, and I was like, I think he's okay, but I think finally yesterday his obviously his short kicking game was really good and just organising the team a lot better. So seeing a lot of improvement from the Cowboys boys, and that's all we'll talk about from that game. The Raiders guys are really struggling. What's happening there? I don't know. Any Raiders fans, let me know what you think's happening with them at the moment, because didn't expect this at all from them. To be somewhere in the middle of the pack. I think Cowboys almost have as many wins as them. So there you go. Val Holmes is really quickly turning into a keeper in the wing fullback position, and how long can Cowboys keep this up for is going to be the real question. Will they be able to do this long term? And if they are, I think Holmes will be a 50-point scorer. If they can't and they don't play as well, they are like a 12th or 13th best team, like we probably think they should be, then I'd expect maybe a 40-ish average. So right at the moment, he's in the middle of that because they've won almost half their games. But his goal kicking's been great. Just doing a bit of everything. Obviously, they had that long-range try this week to get him a high score. Try assist. What do you guys think of Holmes? Rapana, 68. Obviously, a couple of tries there, a couple of fairly easy ones for him, but 206 meters, 8 tackle breaks, and 2 tries. That's a winning formula every day of the week, and he'll start to make some more cash again, which is good. Average of 48. Yeah, I think still a lot of people have him. I got him in my alternates team and really happy with that score. Obviously got Opacek in mine, which scored fairly similar this week, so you're happy with that. How good's Tommy Starling? Jumps straight back into the starting side and picks up 2 try assists and just did exactly what they needed from him. Obviously, they couldn't get the win, but his output, again, really, really strong. And if there's any injuries or further injuries to Hodgson, for example, then Starling's going to be the man. He's already lost 272k, which shows what he got to last year. So, well done to him. Robson, 62 as well. So again, been up and down in his scoring and his minutes played, but got 71 this week in a try. So well done to him. Jack Wyden was obviously a bit better in terms of fantasy, but they still obviously couldn't get the job done. Wyden averaging 53, you're fairly happy with if you own him. You're like, let's keep a level scores. He's only lost 44k, so I wouldn't be looking to target him for example with Origin coming up. Sutton just keeps delivering, playing big minutes. So 58 minutes for 56 this week, kind of just a standard game in base stats. So really well done to Sutton owners. 55 average is crazy. Did not expect that coming into this season at all. Gula Harawira comes back and plays 80 minutes. So really tough one for Hudson Young owners when Corey comes back into that side. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next week if Hudson gets his starting spot back. And if he doesn't, then that's a real big issue, and you're probably going to have to move him on, unfortunately. So Corey, at that price point, if he's getting good minutes like this, or he's going to get close to 80 minutes. Depends what obviously Ricky thought of his gameplay. Especially if Raiders are losing, he could be chopping and changing all the time. But if he's getting these minutes, then he's going to be a great option at 335k, whatever he's going to be after this week. So keep an eye on that one and how that goes. But Benny Hampton, the unsung hero I should say, in this Cowboys team, and finally have a Cowboys player in my fantasy squad, and boy did he deliver without doing too much. One demerit there in a missed tackle, and 400 kick meters, 54 run meters, a couple of tackle breaks, and 21 tackles. You're just loving that for a half that didn't really get any attacking stats. So well done to Hampton, covering my center and wing fullback, and picked up 49. Well done to anyone who owns him. I wouldn't say he's a target from here on in, but if you've picked him up in the last few weeks and obviously got some of the price rises and he's scoring, then well done to you. I said Drinky, I think, played pretty well. But yeah, still not an option at this stage. Just that awkward price, and averaging around 37 mark is a bit awkward. Georgie Williams, again, not an option, averaging 50. There's so many good halves at the moment. So Cohen Hess butchered that try, but he's playing. I think he's playing a lot better in the front row and having a bit more of a go, which is good. Papali'i with 41 minutes off the bench, so I suppose kind of what we expected for him. If he was coming off the bench to play slightly lesser role, and you've got Sutton playing the big role, who would have thought, hey? Aikens, why does he play so much better for the Raiders than he did for the Panthers last year? He's annoying me. At that price point, if he can keep this up, he's going to make some cash, but I'm still not going to tell anyone to go and pick him up, unfortunately. Ben Condon made a tiny bit of cash. People still thinking about him. He plays big minutes. Like, he's been scoring tries, but still not scoring great. So that's that one. Shane Wright as well, 39 in his 70 minutes there. So averaging okay, and made a little bit of cash, but he's not an option of 500k. Corey Horsburgh, welcome back to him. 31 minutes. 35 points. That was just like very, very similar to his PPM last year. He's just that like 1 PPM kind of guy and does really well. So for him, he's going to start losing a bit of cash. And it'll be interesting to see if there's any injuries there. If he has to get a big minute role, I'll be picking him up for sure. I really liked having him in my team last year before he got his injury. So Horsburgh, welcome back to you. Ryan James, 34 minutes to 35 and just had a solid game. Again, not someone you want to be targeting. Hudson Young, here he is. So 19 minutes, he still picked up 30. So obviously, he went on a bit of a rampage when he came on, and he's going to start to lose some cash now, which is sad if you own him. And you got to watch out. Like 19 minutes, he's obviously fallen out of favour, or he needed a bit of a kick up the arse, like Tarpanay did, for example. But yeah, very strange one. And I think, as I said before, if he continues to remain on the bench, then you probably got to trade him out, unfortunately. Jensen's there with 30, so that's about all, guys. Not too much to talk about. We got Sebastian Kris with 9 in his 80 minutes, so not something I expected from Sebastian there. I thought he'd be a lot better than that. And anyone who was interested in picking up Croker, averaging 21.6, so, and that includes a try save and 4 goals. So just not the elite center that he once was. Like, still playing okay in footy, but just doesn't run enough meters, which means he doesn't get the offloads and the tackle breaks. And when you've got 2 missed tackles and 3 errors in there already, making it hard to make you some cash and some good averages there. But there you go, guys. They're the 2 games for our Saturday wrap up. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed the games, and have a good Anzac Day, guys, with a 3-game slate. So see you guys. Have a good one.